Welcome back to Unmodern Romance. Today we're going to be talking about Colombia. So, as a lot of you might know, I moved to Colombia to be with my fiance, and there are a lot of things that are really particular about Colombia. So, I've lived all over the world before I got here, so I haven't lived a ton in South America. I've been to Brazil before, and I've been through some of the Caribbean islands, but I've never really lived in South America before this. So one of the things that I find peculiar about different places, because I think it tells you a lot about the culture, is their driving. So when I first got here, I thought it was absolute chaos. So I just remember driving from the airport in the back of the taxi cab. I'm not really driving. And it's like swarms of motorcycles. It reminded me of being in the ocean because, you just see schools of fish kind of envelop other things that are not going as fast. And the motorcycles here really just, zipping and going in between cars. And there's kind of packs of motorcycles. So you'll see like 20 motorcycles kind of, swerve around and go around like a taxi or something like that. So the thing here is that most people have motorcycles. They don't really drive cars. I think it's because motorcycles are very inexpensive. I think the cost of a motorcycle here is about $1,000. They're fairly inexpensive, and I understand there's like conversion rates and everything else, so I'm not trying to get too technical, but for like $1,000 you can get a new motorcycle. Then of course you have the used market, which I would imagine is even cheaper still. So what people really use cars for is, one, as a sign of wealth, two, as a taxi, but like typically if you're going to a taxi, it's because you're going to a store and you have enough things that you're taking back from the store that, you need more than what you could carry on a motorcycle. Though the things I see strapped to a motorcycle here are absolutely crazy. You'll see, a mom and a dad and like two children and like a pet all on a motorcycle somehow, and it's like, that looks terrifying. So that's a real thing. So because everything is zipping and going around, they don't really do stop signs. Like there's no real traffic signs. Like everything is just kind of ignored. Also, everything is pretty much one way here, which is bizarre in and of its own right. So I just thought, this is absolute chaos. This reminds me of driving in the Middle East, where everything is just chaos all the time. And I have a theory about like very oppressive religious areas and their driving. I find this true in Mormon areas too, which is funny to me. But I'm not saying that Mormonism is as oppressive as Islam. I'm just saying, the driving is bad in Salt Lake City. Like it's worse than some third world countries. So anywho, at first I thought it was like that, but what I've actually found is that everyone here drives super slow. So you have a bunch of chaos that basically is at bumper car speed. Like, I think most people here drive about 20 to 25 miles an hour. So even if you got in a car wreck, like everybody's probably walking away from it. And it's not hard to stop at that speed. So, people, you just kind of have that inching, we're going to merge now, and you asshole, I'm going to, slam on my brakes because, everyone's driving like an asshole, and, you kind of shake your fist and keep going, because that's just how they drive here. So everyone drives erratically, but at such slow speeds, it's not actually erratic, and it's pretty manageable. So, the longer I'm here, the more I'm like, I could learn that. I don't have a car here to drive, though technically I have an international driver's license, so if I did have a car, I could drive it. But because I am not qualified to drive a motorcycle, I really haven't driven yet. But no, it's kind of bizarre. I'm trying to think of some of the other really weird things that I've seen here that just doesn't make sense to me. Because like I said, it's got its own logic to it. So I feel like there are certain areas that have no logic. Everyone is just driving on your tail and kind of hoping for an accident because their lives are miserable, and this isn't that. but it's also enough chaos that it gave me anxiety for like the first 2 weeks I was here. I'm about 2 months in, a little bit more than 2 months, probably like 9, 10 weeks. So with that being said, like the driving here is very, very weird. It is unique to the places that I have been. And I've been to Europe, I've been to Africa, I've been to the Middle East, I've been to Asia. This is a unique kind of weird. It's not totally unpleasant, and I feel like it doesn't it doesn't need to conform, because like even within the United States, like there are enough driving cultures that it really like it doesn't matter that things aren't conforming to the way that you do them, as long as they have their own conformed rules that you can learn and adapt to. The biggest problem, the worst driving to me in the United States is DC, and the reason is because nobody's from DC. Everybody's from everywhere else, and they're going to represent Iowa or whatever at the Capitol. So you have 50 different states' driving habits trying to converge, and nobody knows what to do. Not to mention all the foreigners that live there and everything else. It's bedlam, because you probably have 100 different driving styles trying to coexist, and what you get is just gridlock. Which, yeah, DC, gridlock. But there's no actual driving that is from, because people come and go. Like the average time that people are in DC is like 3 to 5 years. So it's like, because you have such turnover, no one adapts to the DC way. The DC way is just chaos. But different kind of chaos, like I said, than like Salt Lake, where everyone's just like, see how fast I can go, Fast and Furious style. And oh my God, there's an accident. Who would have thought? But no, I actually haven't seen any accidents here. Like you don't see a lot of people like at the side of the road, like pulled off from their accident. You do see a couple breakdowns on the side of the road. I think that's more from maintenance issues, like people not having money to invest in maintaining their vehicle. So it's like they're repairing the vehicle, but it's usually just like a single vehicle at the side of the road. But yeah, that's about what the driving is like here. It's just everyone driving erratically very slowly.